Right along, we said we are speaking about building teams and relationships, right? I'm going to call up on stage Petros, Executive Head, Stakeholder Relations and Public Affairs, result-oriented executive with extensive experience in public affairs and stakeholder engagement, particularly within the banking sector. Since 2004, she has held senior leadership roles, successfully leading diverse teams and strategic initiatives. Her expertise spans across government relations, sustainability, public policy, reputation management, and corporate social investment. Petros, thank you so much for joining us. Let's show her some love as she comes onto stage. Free State, what happened to the energy? What happened to the energy, Free State?
Good morning, everyone. Dumelang, Ligai. Great. I'm trying. As you have seen, my name is Nontyatyambo Petros, so obviously that clearly is not Sutu. But king would say I'm Sutu. So tshwantse ke tsebe ho bua, tshwantse ke understand hore ba reng kana. If bang seba, I must be able to understand. But ke bua Sotho. Not quite Sutu, but yeah. It's a great deal of pleasure for me to be here. To my colleagues who invited me, Monet, Karabo, I just want to say thank you so much for the platform. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. And I want to say that Esposiso introduced me with those other titles, but I am really privileged to be standing here also as an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur with my husband. We've got a number of businesses that have failed. I'm here standing and showing you that it's okay to fail. We learn when we fail. When we fail, we pick up ourselves and we get going. And we apply the lessons that we've learned to our new business entities. So I'm here to talk about building teams and building relationships. You know, when you start your business, you start it because you've got a vision. You want to achieve something in life, and you know that through this business, you can be able to do so. If you've started your business by yourself, you will soon realize that you can't continue. You can't grow the business just by yourself. Because if you fall sick, it means that you are not making money because you are sick. If you have to expand, you can't expand by yourself. You need a team of supporters, a team of people who are behind you, who are supporting your vision, who have taken that vision and you are making it their own vision. If your business solely rests upon you, it means you don't have a scalable business. You need to be able to say, I've started this business here, but I want to grow it to the next township, and to the next township, and to the next town, and to the next city. And that's where you need a team. And that team is going to grow, it's going to be stable, it's going to continue your vision, because you've identified people who are passionate about what you want to solve for, what you want to do. They are going to be working with you. First, you identify those people. Sometimes it's people that you've known for a long time. Sometimes it's people that you know have been in that line of business and you've been able to identify them and to even poach them from some other businesses. Sometimes it's people that you know to go to church with, you've studied with, that you've worked with, that are referred to you. You need to find the right people. And then when you've built your team, it's very important to communicate, to set expectations. What are we trying to do? Today, what is it that we're supposed to do as a business? Communication is critical. Delineating roles, who does what, so that we are all accountable for something. We started, a farming business. It didn't work out because of stock theft. We closed it down. We started a guest house. It survived COVID. We started it in 2019. And I'm very proud to say that it's doing very well. Usbusiso spoke about, people who are in business. I just want to check. How many people here in the room have been running a business for more than 5 years? Just a show of hands. Great, thank you. You can put your hands down. I want to tell you that in South Africa, most businesses fail before they get to 5 years. Most of them actually fail within the first 2 years. If you've been running your business for more than 5 years, you can give yourself a pat on the back. You are doing well. We're talking about teams. You can't run your business without a team, and a team that is invested in ensuring that the business goes more than 5 years. You need to be able to set goals. You need to be able to appreciate your team. When you appreciate your team members, they feel valued. They buy into your vision. They want to do everything right, not just by you, but by the business, because they realize that this is their livelihood. It's no longer just about Nontyatyambo and Misha's guest house. It's about their own livelihood. We have one of our employees who's been with the business for the longest of time, since 2019. She just finished building herself a house. And she tells people that I have not built this house from anything else, but from the salary that I get from this business. So she can see what that business does for her. You need to be able to get people to see the value that they derive from your business. There will be conflict. Conflict is among us. We fight, we argue as sisters, as spouses, as colleagues. You need to be able to resolve conflict in an amicable manner so that you can continue beyond the conflict. Conflict is necessary. It enables you to create boundaries, to clear expectations, but you need to be able to resolve conflict in such a manner that you can continue where you left off, in the interest of the business. You need to be able to reward people and reward them fairly, right? I know it's very tempting when you see the money coming into that bank balance. It's very tempting to think, okay, yes, this is looking great. I need to do this and that. But remember, there are people behind you. They need to be rewarded fairly as well. They need to be supported because they are not there just for your own interest. They are there for their own interest and their children and their children's interest. So I'm going to move now from, talking about how you build teams. I hope you have picked up a nugget or two about how you build teams. I want to talk about building relationships. With business, you do business with people that you can trust. That's the basis of any business. So stakeholder relationship, which is the field that I'm in, is about building relationships that generate trust, that generate goodwill, that generate advocacy. What do I mean by that? I've already told you we run a guest house. A guest house is a business, as you know, that is within a community of people. You run that guest house, sometimes you get a group of people who are noisy. Just recently, we had about 7 university students. They came and, they had to be managed very closely because, students, they like to have fun and they can make a racket and they are going to be talking and drinking and playing games right into the night, and they are making neighbors uncomfortable because they are so noisy, neighbors are unable to sleep. Now, if you don't have good relationships with your stakeholders, in this particular case, neighbors are our stakeholders. They can make your business very uncomfortable. They can run you out of business. They can go and complain about you to the municipality. They can go and complain among themselves, and before you know it, there is bad will towards your business because your neighbors are not happy about something. So when this incident happened, I first saw it on WhatsApp in the morning around 5. I see a message from one of the neighbors talking about there's noise on Stanley Low, and I'm thinking, goodness, there's noise that is coming from us. There's noise, cars and whatnot, and people are trying to sleep, and then some of these people are teasing our dogs, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, hey, I'm embarrassed, I'm stressed, I'm not there, I'm in Joburg. How am I going to resolve this? So anyway, my husband is there. He tries to manage the students and everything, and they call the security company. The security company goes there and they check, but by the time they arrived, my husband had already managed the situation, called the university. The university came and collected those students, and off they left. Long story short, things settled down. Some other people who are closest to the guest house, they wrote a message on WhatsApp and they said, it's quiet now. We see that, everything seems to be okay. It's settled. And then some other person also wrote a message to say, these incidents don't happen that often. So what started out as a crisis for us, it ended up showing us our supporters, our advocates. The person who said this thing doesn't happen often is now on our behalf managing an unhappy neighbor. And I also then wrote a message, privately to 2 of the people who had complained, to apologize and to explain why this was happening and what we had done to resolve the situation. And I must tell you, none of those people were angry. They said, you know what, I understand. I used to teach students, blah, blah, blah. I understand they can be noisy and so on. But no, don't worry, everything is calmed down. Now, what that tells you is that even though your business might run into a problem, even though your business might actually cause a level of discomfort and annoyance to some of your stakeholders around you, you have advocates. There are people who are willing to give your business a chance. And without those people, you actually cannot successfully and sustainably run a business. What is it that we also do? In our neighborhood, now and again, some of these elderly people come together and, they will collect money from residents and ourselves as a business in the area, and they use that money to beautify the area. So as soon as I see a gap, I will put 500 Rand into that fund and say, here's some money, you can use it, clean up the area, get somebody to cut the grass, get somebody to do this and so on. And this guy is very, very clear and very diligent about posting. If I put money, he's going to put, a message. The owner of that guest house, she's put in some money, and we are going to do this and that. We're going to buy some flowers. We're going to cut the grass and so on. So what that shows you is that I'm also invested in that community of stakeholders. I'm invested in the area. I'm invested in maintaining and beautifying the area. And by so doing, not only am I helping to keep up the area, but I'm also helping to buy goodwill for the business. so that people can understand my business, what it is that I'm trying to do, so that they can support me. Akusichocho, guys. It's investment. As Nedbank, we are investing in the community. We are here. We are investing in the community because it's only through sustainable, healthy communities that are growing, that we as Nedbank can also grow. So I'm trying to demonstrate that as a business owner, it's important for me to be invested in that particular area because those are my stakeholders. It's important for Nedbank to be invested in the community of Botshabelo because we cannot grow as a company if we don't invest in communities. I think maybe as a last point, no, actually second last point. Usbusiso spoke about SARS. Guys, I know what it is like to have to comply with regulations. Ne? Regulators are our stakeholders. They are very important. Regulators can shut you down. You know that. As Nedbank, we have very serious regulators that we need to engage, that we need to communicate with, that there are regulations that we need to adhere to as a bank. A banking environment is one of the most regulated environments, and you cannot do without complying, otherwise your banking license will be withdrawn. It's the same with a small business. In 2020, during COVID, there was some funds that were set aside for businesses that had suffered because of COVID. If I can tell you, many businesses actually were not able to tap into those funds. Because why? Because they were not up to date with the regulations. So many businesses didn't have financial statements that are in good standing. So financial statements are one aspect of regulatory compliance. If your statements are in good order, you are able to come to Nedbank and say, I need a loan. I need to grow my business. I need to hire more jewelry designers. I need more equipment. I need, the cold storage rooms that you were referring to. But before the bank does anything, they need to see your financial statements. If you don't have financial statements, it means you are not positioning your business for growth. Then we have to comply with SARS. We need to file our annual tax returns. If you don't file your tax returns, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get fines. You're going to get fines. You're going to get deregistered. And if you get deregistered, you are operating a very precarious business. It means your business can't scale. You can't grow it. As a guest house owner, sometimes, we've got people from universities, government departments. Before they even open their mouths, they want to know, where's your tax certificate? Where is your CSD compliance status? Are you VAT registered? And all of those things. Guys, I know it's very onerous to do those things, but they have to be done. All among us here, we are stakeholders, we are peers, we are supporters. Talk to one another, support each other, to comply with these regulations. UIF, if you've got employees and, you pay employees, you need to comply with UIF. So it's important that that among here, all of us are stakeholders to each other. All of us can support and network and help each other. Regulatory compliance is really, really, really critical. And I just, in the last day or two, I saw a business that has been existing since 2016, but it has been deregistered because they have not filed their tax returns. So those things are really, really crucial, colleagues. And then maybe as a last point, I just want to say that, sometimes when you're running your business and things are not going the way you want them, you think of, maybe I should quit. Maybe I should go and look for a job. It's maybe easier to find a job. You've got a guaranteed income. You can do your things, etc. But I want to tell you that you can never leave your job to your child. I'm the executive head of stakeholder relations and public affairs at Nedbank, but I can never leave that job to my child. If I fall sick, if I become disabled, I'm going to leave Nedbank, and within a couple of months I would have been replaced. But if you run your business, you run it well, and you run it sustainably, you need to have a succession plan. This is the other thing that destroys a lot of businesses, is not having succession plans. You need to have a succession plan, and your succession plan must involve people who are passionate about those businesses. You can leave your business to your child. If that is not motivation enough, I don't know what will. Your children, because of what you have started and what you have grown, they may never need to knock somewhere and say, "Goeiemorgen, I'm looking for a job." Your children can take what you have started and they can grow it and they can take it to levels that you have only ever dreamed about. And this is how we build wealth. This is how we build succession. This is how we build wealth, not just for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children. So with that, I just want to say, keep the faith. Hang in there. It's tough, but build the relationships. Build the teams and look ahead. It's not just for you. You may not be the billionaire, the millionaire that Sbu was talking about, but your children and your children's children can become the millionaires, and the billionaires because of what you started. Thank you very much.